Will y'all give me 1 second? I'm looking for my shares. There it is, my share screen. All right. All right, hopefully you can see my screen. If you cannot, always let me know, of course. So tonight's topic is about dangerous fillers in our supplements and how to really efficiently read your supplement bottles, okay? Or your ingredients, right? So we really want to look at the other ingredients line. And so you can obviously all ingredients are important, right? But sometimes the supplement industries really start sneaking things in to supplements. And really those other ingredients is where you can start picking out a quality product from a not so quality product. So maybe you're new to taking supplements, or maybe you help guide people on supplements. So you're trying to, maybe someone comes to you and says, I really would like to try a product you have, but I'm already on a whole bunch of everything else. So I do this often in the gym, and I'm like, well, I would love to see what you take. Let me see if I can help one replace something, or maybe you're overlapping, or maybe you have some things that maybe you shouldn't be putting in, and we can help kind of nitpick some of that. So you're helping one, educate yourself, but this is also how you can help educate others when if they have some stuff in their cabinets and you're like, hey, well, you should just go look and see if these ingredients are in the things you're taking because they might not be so quality. Because there is a difference between an okay product, a good product, and a great product. And sometimes the good from the great is really in that fine line of those other ingredients. Okay. So I always want to just put a little quick disclaimer out there. We don't diagnose, we don't cure, we're not prescribing. Supplements are for personal use. You know, sometimes you need to really deep dive into your health history. If you're on medications, you're pregnant, you have allergies, all this needs to be put into your own self to determine if a supplement is good for you. Medical concerns, if you have any, talk with a healthcare professional and always make the best decision for yourself. But the goal is to become a smarter consumer, not a fearful one. So when you're looking at the labels, you just really want to get more educated and make sure you know what you're using and to be just a better version of you. And I do believe supplements can do that in taken the right form and the best versions of the supplements. So let's talk about the front label first, because the front label is kind of misleading, right? There's a whole lot put on that front label to attract you to it, um, to make you want to buy it. And sometimes it's not all the way truthful, but the back label has to reveal what's in there, right? It's supposed to, anyways. Let's put that. So the supplement facts is revealing what is the brand is highlighting, but the other ingredients are actually going to have the fillers, maybe with the flavoring, the binders, how colorful it is, or how it's staying preserved. Quality signals will be the testing, the transparency, the sourcing, the manufacturing. Those are going to be your third party verification and seals. And most supplement companies, if they have this, they want you to know that about that product. So here, this is a rule. Even if it's an inactive ingredient, it's still going in your body and it can have a side effect. Okay. So obviously the back of the bottle, the company is going to highlight that big supplement fact and say it's going to do this, this, and this. And most people really overlook that other ingredient. So even if they claim it's inactive, it can have a side effect. So not every filler is technically bad. Now, some of them are there for a reason, but is that filler a toxic filler? Is it an artificial filler? And I will get to that a little bit more. Is it a natural filler? What is the filler there and what is the purpose of it? And some people don't even know what fillers are, what they're doing there. So I'm going to talk to you about each type of filler, what their purpose is, why they're in there, what they look like, how you can figure them out. One type of filler is a flow agent. Okay. So we have a flow filler. This is helping potentially probably a capsule or a tablet move better down a conveyor belt, not to get sticky with the other capsules. So you have flow agents. That's a flow filler. Then we have a binding filler. This is holding a most of the time a tablet together. Um, it could be holding a powder together as well. So it could be a binder in that way. So we know we have, tablets or capsules or powder. So you have binding fillers. Then, of course, you just have filling fillers. This needs to help create the volume inside the capsule. Or it could be a tablet, honestly, too, just to give it some more bulk. So it could be like a bulking agent, but it's filling it. Then we have the colors. Makes your tablet pretty. By the way, there's really no reason for the color to be there other than to make it enticing. Those are always in kids' vitamins because a kid probably doesn't want to eat an ugly colored gummy, so they're going to add some coloring to it. Then you have a flavor filler. Obviously, we know that's improving the taste. This is going to be more in the powders, or a gummy. It's not going to be in something you just swallow like a tablet or a capsule, but we have the flavor fillers or flavor enhancers. And then you have the preserving fillers. So obviously, you're extending its shelf life, making it last longer. So this is where the problem with fillers become unnecessary when they're poorly tolerated, undisclosed, contaminated, or it's just a cheap formula, a cheap type of a flow agent. So one example of that would be a magnesium stearate or a vegetable stearate. Those are cheap types of flow agents. You don't have to have those. A much more superior version would be a rice brand, a preservative. We can do much better with preservatives. You don't have to have cheap preservatives. You can use fermented foods. You can do, and I'm going to show you this later in the slides. You can use fermented foods. You can use even antioxidants to help preserve, and you don't have to use synthetics. So it's all about the company and how the company wants to do this. It's most of the time for their bottom dollar. Let's talk about red flag number one. This is a huge red flag for me because red color, or not just red, but artificial colors and dyes are in so many things. So does a supplement need to look like candy to work? No, obviously, right? It does not. So we want to look at the back of the label. This is when we go to the other ingredients section, and this is how you help your customers, your friends. You help anybody who's looking to get healthier and they're taking supplements. Let's start looking first at the other ingredients. And my first go-to is always looking for colors. If there's colors in a product, it is not quality. So the FD&C colors, those are right there on the left. You can see these are the ones approved by the FDA for foods, drugs, or cosmetics. They're artificial color blends. They're going to make things bright. So they're putting your gummies, they're putting your drinks, and a lot of times they're putting protein powders, pre-workouts, branched chain amino acids. Kids, again, I think I said kids vitamins, and sometimes they're put obviously in cosmetics to even make them, like a little pink. You don't need not to be putting, a lightly colored pink lotion on you. It's just not needed. So obviously colors can improve marketing appeal. They have nothing to do with results. A cleaner choice is to have no artificial colors, or if a company does want to color it, they can use it from a plant, from a vegetable, or a fruit. Beets make things pretty. So that's just another way to look again. If the company wants to make it nice and pretty, they can use it from a plant source or a fruit source. Red flag number two. This is my second place I like to go. Sweeteners, sugar alcohols, or flavor systems. So how do we start looking for those? So these are the big ones to look for me. Sucralose, so that's, stevia, aspartame, aspartate potassium. So that's another, the slang for that is ACE-K. sugar alcohols, flavor systems. They just want to make things really sweet for people because, people just like things to be sweet for their palate. Artificial sugars, different ones have many different side effects, but many of these are sucralose, I believe, is 400 times sweeter than sugar. Aspartame, I believe, is 600 to 800, and aspartate potassium is even sweeter than that. And it's even banned in some countries, especially for pregnant women, because it's been linked to fetal developmental problems. So they're not good for you. And you can find obviously other ways I think I said sucralose with stevia. I did not mean that. It was Splenda. Stevia is a better choice. So sucralose is Splenda. Stevia is a better choice. It is from the plant. And of course, you can use monk fruit or some other, even cane sugar. A little bit of cane sugar. I know people think, I don't want sugar, but even just a touch of that can go a long way to sweeten things. And I would much rather see that than see an aspartate potassium or an aspartame. So, why it does matter? A lot of sugar alcohols and sweeteners are linked to digestive problems, and they really can mess up your microbiome. We know our gut is linked to everything, and by overly doing this every single day, things in your gut can get messed up, but also can be linked to headaches. And obviously, when your things in your gut get messed up, that can go to your head, but can be your skin starts getting a change. Your mood has a change, your immune system gets affected, and obviously that starts honestly getting linked to your hormones. So, an overwhelming effect or too much fake sugars, I think, is bad. So, your smart swap. You can look again for lightly sweetened. Like I said, you could find natural cane sugar, putting in things, monk fruit, stevia. And again, we want no dyes here. So you want to especially check, this is a big place to check, hydration mixes. You will definitely see those there. Trying to think of that super sweet packet where people are really all on the hydration mix now. Maybe they're called the drip drops. Protein powders, um, obviously gummy vitamins loaded with sweeteners, fake sweeteners, your pre-workouts, and really look for the people that are claiming zero sugar products because they're going to be absolutely making sure they taste good, but they're going to be doing it with sugar-free products like the sucralose and the aspartames. So red flag number 3. This one's the one that most people are less knowledgeable about. So this is where your binders, your coatings, your flow agents, or your polishing agents will come in. So a lot of the label terms are this is just a few of them. Some of the label terms are right here on the left. So you have your magnesium stearate or your stearic acids. Those are flow agents. The silicone dioxide, that is a bulking agent. Um, that is the unnatural form of it. Silica is a more natural form. We have cellulose. Any kind of glycols are going to make things kind of shiny. And titanium dioxide is also going to be a color enhancer. They're not really needed, but people like to put them on their peels to make their peel look. Titanium dioxide, especially, is big for white. It makes the white look really shiny. Or Skittles. It's even on Skittles to make Skittles look really bright. It's not needed. It's just, it's unnecessary, but it's appealing to the eye. Okay. So why is it so much? Why do they need to exist? People think they need the parade of products to make it look better or to make it look more expensive. And again, or to make it go down a conveyor belt better or to last longer. But again, there are more high quality ways to make this happen. Red flag number 4, we have our preservatives and our synthetic additives. So these are our preservatives. These would be in a lot of liquids. You would see these in like a superfood drink a lot of times people would put these in a superfood drink. For the preservative liquid, the solvents or the carriers, again, you see more titanium dioxides. Those can actually still be in liquids, but typically going to be on a pill. And then more anti-caking. So this is going to be in protein powders. So you have to look for all of these everywhere, but they will also be in like protein bars. Okay. More natural preservatives would be like you can even use vinegar, cultured dextrose, fermented foods, essential oils, and even antioxidants help keep things lasting longer. A really great explanation of that is if anybody has used the MOA packets, those are all naturally preserved and they are preserved by fermentation and essential oils, and they have a very long shelf life. So you don't have to use all of those synthetic preservatives to keep that liquid fresh if you use the more natural kinds. And those are actually good for you. We know fermented foods are good for you and essential oils are good for you, but it's just a higher quality product. It's not a cheap product. So is this ingredient protecting the formula again, or just protecting the profit margin? And most of the time, if you see things on the left, it is about a profit margin. Um, and not necessarily about the formula. So let's roll into red flag number 5. Your allergies,
Allergies,
gums,
gums,
or cheap
or cheap
fillers.
fillers.
Um, Hidden allergy number 1, I actually have one of these. Mine is gluten, but a lot of people do have it. You want to just make sure you're letting people watch for their allergies. So is it eggs? Is it soy? Is it shellfish? Or maybe they just don't want to eat those. So you want to just help people guide on how to even look for them. Maybe they don't care if they're eating them, but maybe they do. So just help them know where to look in that the other ingredient section to see if any of that is in there. Um, Obviously, we have some gut triggers when we start putting in some of the gums, the sugar alcohols, the heavy sweeteners. Just remind people that those could bother their stomach. So if you have someone saying, man, I get this a lot. I've been using and eating this protein bar, and every time I eat it, it hurts my stomach. And then I look at the back of the ingredient and it's loaded with dairy and sugar alcohols. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that would kill my stomach too. But they think they're making a healthy choice with their protein bar. But really, they're doing things that's causing inflammation every time they eat it. And then we have our cheap volume bulkers, okay? Maltodextrin being one of the cheapest ingredients that a supplement company can put into protein, typically protein bars and protein shakes. So that is a huge, huge ingredient I go to look for. It is very hard on the stomach. It's very hard on the intestinal tract. Maltodextrin is a sugar from corn or potato, and it's sticky because it is a starch. So what happens when it gets into the stomach and then the intestinal tract, it stays sticky. And then it, adheres to the intestinal wall. And I just told you it's a starch. It's very high on the glycemic index, so it's really a lot of sugar. And what does bacteria love? It loves sugar. So when you get something sticky in your intestinal tract, and that stickiness is just sugar, it's a breeding ground for bad bacteria. And so that's typically why people's stomachs can start hurting when they eat or drink things with lots of maltodextrin, and they have stomach bloating or stomach distress. So it's a really good idea to take out that ingredient in anything you do. Number 6, I'm not a huge hater of proprietary blends. I just don't like all the vague things. So if you see something that's just kind of you just want to be a little more open. You want the back label, if it's got a proprietary blend, to be a little more open about what's in it, not just say fat burn matrix, right? Let's say it's a let's say it's a fat burning pill, and says it's 1,000 milligrams, but they don't really have anything listed. It's just a flavor system or natural flavors or colors. You really don't know what you're getting, right? You want to make sure if they're listing a proprietary blend, maybe they could list a little bit more of the exact amount of each blend, or maybe be a little more specific of which one, or explain the purpose of the ingredient, or just make sure that the company is backed by third-party testing. Because if that's the case, when they got pulled off the shelf, it's been tested for those ingredients. And then in that case, you're not as worried about it because the company has been transparent and they've said, we're open to have you come test our product for these ingredients because we verify that they're there and we want you to come test. So they're being more transparent. So if you see a proprietary blend, then look for that third party testing seal that comes with that company or that supplement line. So, label detective method. Ignore the front first, go to the back, look at the other ingredients lines. Circle or highlight anything that looks artificial or vague when it comes to colors, flavors, sweeteners, or blends. Check for your allergies if you have any, and then look for your quality and proof when it comes to your third party testing. These are just a couple of the quality signals to look for. And then when it comes to partner co-products, the ones that I use, these are just a few of the seals that I find that are most impressive. And this ensures that one, our products are tested for potency, tested for quality. They're all natural. They are made in FDA approved facilities. They're consumer lab approved, and they have the USP seal, which means huge quality stamp, which means they at any time they could be taken off the shelf, be tested, and if it wasn't the exact amount that was in there listed on the bottle, then it would be pulled. So we go the extra mile to make sure that we say what we have is in our product, and we believe that it comes with a benefit and people get a benefit. So here's your clean label checklist. No artificial dyes, no artificial colors, no vague proprietary blends, no sugar loaded or fake sugars, no unnecessary synthetic fillers, no hidden allergies. Make sure it says it. If you have an allergy, you look for it. And no label claim without the quality proof. All right. All right. So this is your live activity. If you or help somebody, you just go over, see if you can pronounce most of the ingredients and ask, why are the ingredients there? And biggest deal, does the quality show proof? And does your body deserve the formula that the front label promised? So I hope this was helpful. I didn't mean to go back. And if you would like this recording, of course, it will be up hopefully tonight, if not tonight, tomorrow. If you would like a copy of the PowerPoint, I will also be happy to send that to you as well.